Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest installment of Demystifying the Thesis Statement, Taking Control of Your Essay. For this installment, we are going to focus on a thesis statement that helps you fulfill the requirements of the Women in the Wastelands essay. So though this may look like the same presentation you've already seen, it is in fact different, so stay tuned. So as before, your thesis is like a good driver, right? It knows where to go, it steers your essay, it avoids bad traffic. So we'll talk about how the knows where to go component first. Here, it takes a stand. Your thesis statement is the controlling, driving force behind your essay. So you want to answer the question using clear, focused, and direct language that allows you to be assertive. It's important to use your clear and focused language to be assertive because you want to earn the respect of your reader. You want to build credibility with your reader so that you might be able to persuade them. If you don't believe in your essay, if you don't believe in your stance, nobody else will either. So use your language to demonstrate your confidence. You can use language like demonstrates. An analysis of the symbols demonstrates, or an analysis of the motorcycle indicates, or Rye embodies, or Harry represents, or one of the characters reinforces or challenges traditional gender roles. Right? It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. The main thing I ask is that you avoid things in the right-hand column. Anything, I believe, I think, in my opinion, all of that type of language erodes the credibility in the eyes of your reader. It shows them that you don't have confidence or belief in your own essay, in your own argument. So if you don't, nobody else is either, right? So I want you to avoid using language like this, not only in the thesis statement, but throughout the essay. Just get rid of it. It's gone, right? Show your strength. So go ahead and practice. Open the prompt and answer the question you've chosen openly, honestly, and just directly, using some of the language from the left-hand column in the previous slide. Go ahead and hit pause and start again once you have written that sentence. Okay, welcome back. Now that you've written that sentence, now that you know where you're going to go with your essay, let's check Waze. Does anybody still use Waze? I used to love that as a traffic app, right? Because it would show you where the police were. It'll show you where different road work is taking place or different problems are coming up, right? It'll help you navigate the freeway system by having an idea about where the roadblocks are, right? What do you need to do as the writer to prepare before you write this essay? Where are the complications, right? In your argument, where are these possible complications? Now, the bad traffic equals opposing arguments in your 1A type level class. In a literary analysis, these opposing arguments are more what we're going to consider those complications, right? So refer to the infographic outline, small group discussion, and choose at least one of the most significant roadblocks to your argument. Paraphrase it using your own language to compose a complete sentence. Go ahead and hit pause and return when you're ready. Welcome back. So now we have two sentences. Now the question comes up, how do I join these two sentences? And my answer to you, concessive subordinators, right? I love these pieces of language because they're super effective in helping you accomplish your goals and remain assertive. They allow you to be assertive, but also acknowledge complications. They're sneaky good. And so here are the 5 concessive subordinators: though, although, even though, while, and whereas. Words that I know you've heard before. These words are literally sneaky good at helping you address these opposing arguments and staying assertive. They literally take the emphasis away from your complication and put that emphasis right back on your assertion, on your statement. Now, I always have students ask me, why can't we just leave it as 2 sentences? Well, let's take a look at what happens. So we have 2 sentences here. Parking fines help raise money, and Richmond must not increase parking fines. Right? The first sentence is an independent clause. Everybody out there knows that. It stands all by itself. It's a complete thought. The second sentence is also an independent clause. It's a complete sentence. It stands alone all by itself, and it's a complete thought. As a result, grammatically, these 2 ideas are equal. They're exactly equal. There's no difference grammatically between the emphasis of one or the emphasis of another, right? And so they don't really, leaving 2 sentences here isn't going to help you at all. Now, students will also ask, can't we just use fanboys, right? And so here I've combined those 2 sentences using the fanboy but. So let's look at what happens here. Parking fines help raise money, still an independent clause. Richmond must not increase parking fines, still an independent clause. You guessed it, no difference grammatically. They are both equal in the eyes of the grammar gods. And we don't want that, right? We don't want equal. That doesn't help us out. So let's look at what happens when we utilize a concessive subordinator to join these 2 sentences. I've used the word while here. So while parking fines help raise money, Richmond must not increase parking fines. Okay, so one of these sentences or halves of this sentence has already been established as an independent clause, and guess what? It still is, right? Now, because we added the word while, that sentence is no longer an independent clause. It now needs the help of another clause to give it meaning. So if you just read the sentence before the comma, while parking fines help raise money, you'd be waiting for me to finish the idea. It's obvious when you hear it that it is not complete. And because of this fact, these are not equal. The dependent clause and the independent clause are not equal at all. Can you guess which clause has the most emphasis? Yes, of course, it's the independent clause. Just like in a household, many of you are dependents, and you have to kind of do it. The independents, your parents or guardians, have what they say, right? That's kind of the dynamic within the house, right? The independents have more power than the dependents. Well, with language, it's the same thing. The independent clause has more power than the dependent clause. Concessive subordinators literally change the weight of the idea. And that's what we're looking for in our thesis statement. We want to change the weight of that idea. So now you try. Combine the 2 sentences by using a concessive subordinator to de-emphasize your complication, which will make your own original stance that much more important. Then once you've finished that, go back and write a different version and play around with different words, different active verbs, to see if you can get a different feel, a stronger sentence by using different or even stronger language. Okay? A lot of people remarked and talked to me about how writing 2 or 3 versions of the last thesis really helped them find the version that they were looking for, the one that they were most interested in. Now, once you have those 2 versions of your thesis, go ahead and post them in the discussion that follows beneath this video. And then follow the instructions on how to respond to your classmates. I'll see you in a minute.